yet, so I don't know. Okay, I guess we're live. Are we live on Facebook? I'm on my Facebook, but I don't see it. Last time I clicked go live, it did go live, right? So
I think like 15 seconds we've been live.
okay, we've been live. I don't see it on my Facebook, but I guess we are live. Um, Welcome
Yep.
everybody. Anybody? There's no one on. That's fine. That's
That's fine.
fine. We're gonna record it. It's gonna stay on Facebook. We'll post it on other platforms, and who cares if anyone wants to come on and has questions? We'll be here. But we're here to provide value. So thanks, Mike, for coming here.
My
So
pleasure.
it's always a pleasure to have you come on, and we're here to provide value to people who are considering buying or selling, or just have real estate questions, and as a way to stay in touch with people that I have on Facebook and my database and so forth. Um, like I have a YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, where I used to post videos. Literally posted 1,100 videos, and then stopped doing it for a year and a half or so. So now this is a way to reconnect. So thanks for coming on, Mike.
My pleasure.
Oh, long time no see too.
I know, man.
So you have uh, do you see it live?
Yeah.
Oh, you do. I guess I can't. I don't know why I can't see it live.
Go to your
There it is.
profile and just click your profile picture.
Okay, no, I can see it. Well, my profile doesn't see it, but you liked it, so it came up as a notification.
Yeah.
But now I can see it. Okay, cool. Okay, so I don't know if you feel comfortable, Mike, but I mean, I saw on your Facebook that you were recently the speaker in what's it called, in the graduation, African American graduation at Occidental College. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
it?
So every year, Occidental College has the Black graduation ceremony as a separate graduation ceremony for the Black students. That incorporates, international African students that are graduating class, any mixed race, students who identify as Black participate in the ceremony, and they usually have a keynote speaker that is privileged enough to speak to the graduates to try to give them a pep talk specifically for the Black community. So I was able to do that this year. I was chosen. Past speakers have been Dr. Alice Walker Duff, class of 68. So she's like a real veteran in Occidental's community, and she's helped me with the Black alumni organization at Occidental's. Really taught me a lot about nonprofits and how to be effective with volunteer work. So this is probably going to be my last year on the leadership team for that. But it was a pleasure, because over the last 4 years, these kids were coming out of COVID, and I did a lot of events on campus. So I got to know these students over the last 4 years, the graduating class, really, really well with their volunteer work in the Black Student Alliance and the African Student Union. The Black Men's Forum started up again from the time when I was a student. So it was just really cool to see them graduate and hear about what they want to do after life at Oxy.
Okay, no, that's cool. That must be quite an honor for you to have been invited for that and participate in that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Keynote.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So then just look. He says there on his thing he is a loan officer. I am a real estate broker, in case you guys didn't know. And so our agenda for this is I prepared some slides on the Southern California housing market. Today is 5/29, and so there's some properties that I have listed or they're off market listings. I just wanted to share with you. We have some updated market data that has come out from the California Association of Realtors, and then HOA fees. People have hesitancy with HOA or think it's a waste of money, and then people always ask about, well, what are the experts are projecting? What are the projections in the market? So I wanted to just give that information to you, and I don't want my screen to show what I'm or whatever my computer. How you say? I'm looking here. All right. So anyway, I can't do two at one. So that's our agenda. So just some properties. Can you? All right. So this is a property we have investment property opportunity in Cypress Park. It's 12 units. They're singles. It's near York, Colorado. They're major freeways 2, 5, and 10. The rents are $11,000 a month, and so the gross rent multiplier is 11.4. That's like a really, really low gross rent multiplier for Los Angeles. It's a really good opportunity. The voices I hear is, what is that?
I don't know. That's not on my side.
I hear it like on my computer. I don't know what it is. Okay, anyway, so that's like a pretty low gross rent multiplier.
I'll be ready tomorrow, 10 o'clock, 10:30. Between 10 o'clock and 10:30.
That's my phone.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
No, I was talking to a buddy on the phone, and then you called, and I switched over, and he stayed on.
I think you put us on like a conference call, like put us together.
That's funny. So anyway, this property was previously listed for, I think it was 1.7. Then it's dropped to 1.6. Right now, it's been recently reduced to 1.5. It's one of the lowest priced 12 units with $11,000 rent. It's a lot. It's a lot of rent for that price. Anyway, another property. This is in Phelan. This is in the high desert. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Huge, 96,000 square foot lot with a stable. There's the horse stables back here. You can't really see it. It doesn't have horses, but this is the huge property. A lot of people in this area are subdividing their lots or building multiple units, ADU, or multiple opportunity development potential there. That's in Phelan. It's only $385. That's one of the lowest prices in California, especially for that size lot. Okay, sure. So then in the Hollywood Hills, we have this vacant lot. It's a hillside near Sunset Boulevard. It's zoned for single family, so you have endless possibilities of potential there. And here it is on the actual map, and it is a hillside, so it does need some development to be able to do something, but that's there. And then we have for rent in Azusa. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, remodeled. The kitchen has quartz kitchen, stainless steel appliance, quartz kitchen counters, stainless steel appliances, new flooring, and the bottom has central AC. It's a quiet community. There's some 2 teachers that actually live next door and manage the property. It's near Azusa Pacific, Citrus College, scenic hiking trails. And then off market, we have some properties that are going to be coming onto the market soon. So I'll put them in order based upon the distance from the market. So this one is in Cudahy. It's a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, has a 2-car garage. Has 2022 upgrades like a new roof, windows, central AC heat, electrical panel, and fresh exterior paint. In 2018, he did other investments, interior remodel, kitchen and bath, hardwood floors, modern finishes. So it's gated, cement yard, block wall near the 710 freeway. This one we put on the market for a couple of days, then the seller wasn't ready and pulled it off for a while. But there's a lot of people that are really interested in this. If you're interested in something in Cudahy, let me know and I'll put you on the list for when it's ready. All right. Also, coming soon in Cypress Park. This is like the one in Cudahy is not going to come on for a while. Cypress Park is probably come on like in about 2 months or so. So there's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath. This is our client that we have that you know of, right? Okay. So he has a 2-bedroom upstairs, 2-bedroom downstairs, driveway. It's prime location in Cypress Park near Highland Park, near Dodger Stadium, downtown LA. That'll be coming 2 months. And then coming up in about a week, actually this weekend it's going to be coming soon, and then we'll get the photographs in a couple weeks. But this is in Sylmar, a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 33,000 square feet lot, huge. Vaulted ceilings, double-side fireplace, open dining kitchen area. This is a home that has like development potential. Like you can see the other properties have smaller lots or they're subdivided or multiple. So you have a lot of space to build more homes, subdivide, build more units. A lot of possibility for development. That's what that's for. And then, so now our market data. So here's where you come in, Mike, we'll look at the market data and then see what your thoughts are on this. So the market data comes out a little bit afterwards. So we have the data from April. We'll get the data from May, later on in June. So we're at the highest point the market has ever been. The median price is $910,000. There's a 22nd consecutive month where year-over-year price increases. It's 2.9% more than March, 0.7% more than last year at this time. So, I mean, that's a lot. What do you think? Is this the ceiling on prices in California, or are we going to continue to see the same?
Yeah, I mean, usually the two things that push median prices higher are, low inventory and, decent demand. And that word decent is kind of in quotation marks. So how strong the demand is going to be could counteract low inventory. So in the winter months, early spring months, inventory is pretty low. People don't want to put their houses on the market when the kids are in school. Totally makes sense. That's why end of May, June, July, real estate really starts to get busy because the sellers have time to put the properties on the market, and the buyers, kids are, out of school as well. So there's time to go to those open houses. So the question for increasing home values or steadily increasing home values is, what are all of these buyers' appetite going to be? Because there's going to be homes on the market, as you said, Luis, and there's going to be buyers on the market. I'm just one loan officer. I have 30 to 40 buyers fully pre-approved who are waiting for the right deal to come on the market. They have a silly reason of waiting for interest rates to come down because they want a lower payment. They're thinking there might be a crash. There's just a plethora of reasons of why these buyers in my pipeline are not putting in offers and haven't put in offers for months. So what those buyers' appetite is going to be to put in an offer, in my opinion, is going to decrease. What they're willing to put on a property when a listing comes up that's in the area they want, has the bedroom and bathroom and square footage that they want, that appetite is going to decrease in terms of putting an offer in at list price with no concessions desired. I believe that time might be coming to an end soon, which means that the increase in property values that we've seen, even though it's not increasing as much as it did during COVID or right after COVID, that decrease might be coming to an end. Just in the last 3 or 4 escrows that I've closed, we either got the property under list price, or if we went over list price, we got a pretty decent concession. I've had one appraisal come in low, which means even if the buyer is willing to quote unquote overpay for the property, if the appraiser goes out and the properties in the area are not selling for that amount, the bank can't do the loan based on the higher sales price. They have to go on the actual appraised value, unless the buyer wants to come in with the difference between, the appraised value and the sales price, which a lot of buyers have wanted to do in the past. I think that buyers are not going to be willing to do that as much.
Okay, so just for those who may not know, right? Concession means that. What does concession mean?
Right. It could mean a couple of things. The main thing that it usually means is a credit towards closing costs. So that credit towards closing costs, usually for a $800,000 transaction, it's about $10,000 to $15,000 in closing costs that the buyer has to pay on top of their down payment, which a lot of first-time home buyers don't know about closing costs. So it's a bit of a shock to their system when they've saved up 5% down, which Yahoo says is a strong down payment. They have $40,000, but then their loan officer tells them you need $55,000 to buy that $800,000 house because there's $15,000 in closing costs. So in a market that is more of a buyer's market, that buyer can say, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, I'm willing to pay $800,000 for your property, but I want $7,500 of a credit from you to cover half of my closing costs. And the seller can say yes or no, depending on what market we're in. In a strong seller's market, when there's 10 people wanting that property, that buyer is not going to get what they want. But if there's only one buyer and the seller hasn't had an offer for 60 days, there's a good possibility that buyer can get what they want. So I think it's really important for sellers. I don't deal with sellers, but I think it's a really good idea for sellers to listen to their listing agent. listen to them. Don't listen to your uncle or your grandma that sold 20 years ago. And this is what I think your property is worth. Listen to your listing agent, because your listing agent knows what has sold in your area and in your area within the last 3 to 6 months. And they're going to tell you the right. If you over list your property, no buyers are going to want that in this market, because buyers are experiencing rate fatigue where rates are not coming down. They've heard that for almost 2 years now. We're stuck at 7%. You might get down to 6.5. You might have to pay a little over 7% for your rate. And so I think buyers are starting to get that rate fatigue, and they want a discount from the seller.
Okay. All right. So then other data points, we're seeing the number of sales drop 3.4% from March and 0.2% from last April. So there's less people that are actually closing escrow on homes. And then the pending sales, the sales that are going to be closing in future, when they have an accepted offer, has declined for 5 straight months, showing that there's strong buyer hesitancy over the beginning of this year, calendar year. So why do you think the buyers are showing such hesitation?
Yeah, I mean, a good buyer's agent, even if you're in escrow, is going to still be looking at the market, and they're going to let that buyer know it's great that we got our offer accepted. When we do our inspections, I think we should ask for a pretty big concession. Remember, a concession is a credit that the seller gives you to help cover your closing costs. We should ask them for a pretty big concession, because I think we could find a better property if we don't end up with this property. Now that pending sale, you're in escrow, it's off the market, it's your property if you want it. Now you ask for this big credit from the seller because your realtor says you think they deserve it. Most sellers on the first go around do not want to pay that. So now that escrow gets canceled, the property gets packed on the market. That speaks to the statistic that Luis just put up: pending sales, not closing. That is going up, because I think the good buyers, realtors are seeing that they could get a discount on other properties on the market.
Okay. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out in the next months. Right now, school is ending. More families are going to be coming onto the market to sell and buy, and so we'll see if that continues. So despite buyer hesitancy, according to the California Association of Realtors, there's limited inventory, continues to push prices up. But we know this is the time when there's more properties that are coming onto the market, the most ever months. This is the time. Looking at the 50-year average, May, June, this is when people come onto the market to both buy and sell. And so based on that, the first quarter, the affordability rate in California was 17%. I mean, 17% of families could actually afford the median price in California when they were lower. In LA, only 14%. So a very realistic situation for people, besides moving outside of LA County if they cannot afford here, is a condo. Condos in LA, median price is $825. In California, $688, significantly big discount. But what we recently, my wife and I, we live with our daughters in a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home, large, and we actually downsized recently to a 2-bedroom, 1-bath condo, which I'm in right now. And this condo, people think, oh, well, condos have HOA fees. I don't want to pay an HOA fee. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of money. Condos, townhomes, PUDs, or planned unit developments. A lot of new home communities with single-family residents have HOA fees. And so I just wanted to give the audience some background information about HOA fees. HOA fees are a group discount. It's a group discount on essentials. If you have a single-family residence, you have to pay for all these things. It's not included in the mortgage payment. And in the HOA fee, our HOA fee includes all of these things. And let me ask you, audience, or Mike also, how much do you think this costs? Fire insurance, that's a huge amount right now, and it's going to go up. Water, even if you're renting a house, you got to pay for water. And we have a washer dryer here, so we have water included in our HOA. Landscaping, exterior lighting and maintenance, security patrol. We have a security gated parking, and then we have the security guard walks around at night. Like when I go on walks at night or in the morning, I see the security guard. It's like a feeling of safety. We don't have elevators, but sometimes HOAs have elevators. We have a pool. Lifeguard in the summer. We have maintenance of the pool, termite treatment, roof, taking care of the exterior paint, sewer maintenance, all that stuff. Guess how much that costs per month? Mike, you know about HOAs. So.
Yeah, your internet. Yeah. It just went out for a sec.
Okay. No, but all that, we only pay $450. That's cheap. If you just fire insurance and water, if you had a single family residence, will be almost about that price. And we get all those other amenities. So it's a group discount. It's not a waste of money. It's a group discount on essentials that you're going to be paying for. So according to Wall Street Journal, 80% of newly built single family residences are part of an HOA, and they have to pay HOA fees included in there, and the numbers are rising. And so according to Axios, 4 in 10 homes have HOA fees today. So that maintains the neighborhood, the amenities, the less personal upkeep for you, personal value, property value protection. So if you are in a situation where we were, a large home, kids move on, and now you don't need this large home. Or maybe a situation like us, we don't want to pay the giant mortgage, so we'll get it cheaper. Condos cheaper, much more comfortable economically. Maybe you might want to consider downsizing into a condo. You don't want to maintain the yard or all that stuff. That's something you may want to consider. So about condos, okay. So question, Mike. Lending on a condo. Are there certain requirements for lending on a condo, for getting a home mortgage on a condo?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, most people use conventional financing when it comes to condos, Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. So the main things that lenders are going to want to check is if there's any pending litigation in the homeowners association, because you don't want to buy a condo where some little girl slipped on the sidewalk and is suing the homeowners association, and the lawsuit could be $10 million. And the coverage on the liability insurance is only $1 million. Well, guess what? Your HOA dues are going to go up tremendously if the HOA loses that lawsuit. And the lender is on the hook for usually 80% of the transaction. You're coming in with 20% down. That's great. But the bank is on the hook for 80% of that $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 condo. So we need to check if there's any pending litigation. Most litigation is totally fine because most homeowners associations have enough liability coverage to cover that. It's usually not an issue. The other thing we want to check on is that if, let's say, there's 100 units in your homeowners association and 85 of them are being rented out. Well, that's not really a homeowners association. That's more like an apartment building, and renters don't take care of their property as much as homeowners do. Probably you don't want to buy in that homeowners association. Again, the lender is wanting this property to be upkept. They want the homeowners association to be nice and strong, So we usually check and we limit what we'll finance for, usually about half. If half of the units or less are rented out, it's okay, because a lot of people buy condos as investment properties and they end up renting it out, which is fine. It's totally fine. But if more than half of the units are rented out, it's an issue. The last thing we usually check for is to make sure the budget. An HOA is kind of like a company, and a company has a profit and loss every year. And you really don't want your HOA to be collecting HOA dues for $100,000 a year, and then their expenses every year are $100,000 a year. Well, wait. Well, what if there's an extra expense or something? Or what if a couple people don't pay their HOA dues? Now you can't take care of the pool because that was one of the expenses. So we check for every HOA, and Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac does this, a 10% reserve line item on the budget. We'll check that every time we finance a a condominium to see that that budget is a healthy budget, to see if there's a little bit of room for what if one of the patios just breaks and falls down and that needs to be repaired. That wasn't in the budget, but we have a reserve money left over to fix that. So it is a little bit harder to finance a condominium as opposed to a house called a single family residence. There's a little more risk that is taken on by the lender. So your rate is usually a little bit higher, 1/8%, maybe 1/4% higher. The down payment requirement is the same. You can do 3.5% down for FHA. You can do 3% down as conventional. All the down payment assistance programs will finance you, if you're buying a condo. So that's not an issue, but just making sure the homeowners association is healthy is kind of a benefit to the buyer. So that's what we check.
All right. So that was my next question. So I heard that you said that you can buy with 3% down, 3.5% down, or possibilities even with a condo, and there are down payment assistance programs that you can still qualify for. Now, let's just say someone out there is worried about what you just said about this insurability, the reserves. I'm the buyer. How do I find out all this information, or how does that work? I mean, how do I get all that info to my lender?
I mean, during the investigatory period, the inspection period of your contract, which is usually 7 to 10, sometimes up to 12 days, you're provided all these documents with your real estate agent as a buyer to review. And believe me, as a lender, we're reviewing all that documentation with you. And we'll let you know, hey, this budget is very strong. There's not a lot of rental units, and there's no pending litigation. And if there is pending litigation, it's a non-issue because the attorney said it's only going to be a $20,000 payout if they're found guilty, and the insurance liability covers $10 million. No problem. We'll let you know all that information during the transaction so you can feel secure, buying the property.
I see. Okay. So then the next topic that we said we were going to talk about was projections, because people always say, well, that's what you think. What are the projections? Okay, so the quote unquote experts routinely make projections on various things in the market. So here we have the mortgage rate projections. So MBA is the Mortgage Brokers Association. I can't see what the other ones are. We see Wells Fargo, Fannie Mae. Do you see right here? I can't see where it's a slide in there. What does it say?
The NAHB, National Association of
Home Builders.
Yeah.
Okay, it says Zillow right here. So they all have projections. They're all projecting right as of May 13th. Every month or every couple months they make different. They're projecting the rates are going to come down this year. They have been projecting that every year since 2022. In 2022, they projected they're going to. They were projecting they were going to go up a little bit, but they went up a lot. Then in 2023, they said, yeah, they're going to go down. Then in 2020, and they didn't. In 2024, yeah, they're going to go down, and they didn't. And now they're very moderate projections. They're going to go down. So that's that. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that sticks out is Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae, just to back up for a second, like the current administration running this country is really trying to help the economy, is really trying to take very bold steps to bring down interest rates and increase revenue with the tariff talk. The problem with that is that these are very atypical things for a presidential administration to do. And from what I know about 20, 25 years of working in the market is the market does not like uncertainty. So whether the administration is trying to pass a very, very positive thing for the economy or not, when it's an atypical thing that they're trying to pass and it gets a lot of pushback from the judicial branch, that causes a lot of uncertainty. Are the tariffs going to go through or not? Are the tariffs going to work? Is the pressure putting on the Fed to lower interest rates going to work? Is it going to have a negative effect of causing more uncertainty and making rates go up, which has happened the beginning of this year? We were supposed to get better rates. They haven't gotten better. So volatility is, never a good thing when you're, I don't want to say gambling, but when you're trying to guesstimate something or project something in the future, volatility breeds uncertainty. So the one thing that I said, like I said, stood out is Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae is supposed to be, what the administration is saying is that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are going to be privatized now. The government isn't going to, subsidize them, which that line of thinking does make conventional rates go down because, there's no government oversight. There's not as much. Fannie Mae is able to kind of run their own ship, and they're thinking that rates are going to get better. And from this graph, not better, but substantially better from the projections that just came out. I wouldn't bank on that, which is why I'm telling my buyers, get the house now. Get the house now, because, and I think this is going to be your next question, if rates go down to what Fannie Mae is saying, 6.2, what's going to happen? And if a buyer is fully pre-approved right now, they have their down payment, they're comfortable with the monthly payment, they have some houses picked out, and they wait to get that house until rates go down to 6.2, they're going to pay substantially more for that house because the other buyers are going to want that house at that point too. So the two scenarios are what the buyer wants to do, wait for the 6.2 rate. Let's say it's a $900,000 house in a really good area. They're getting a great deal. They qualify. All their paperwork's in order. They said, I want to wait until Fannie Mae says that the rates are going to be 6.2. Cool. Your interest rate right now might be 6.7. I want a 0.5% lower. So instead of buying that property at $900,000 at 6.7%, they wait. And let's say it takes 9 months to get down to 6.2. That same property, let's say it's still on the market. They haven't found a buyer yet. But when interest rates go down to 6.2, there are going to be dozens of buyers vying for that property that will push the accepted offer of that value way over any kind of savings the buyer could have gotten. Let's say the savings is $250 a month. That's a huge savings. I'm not poo-pooing on anybody's budget. That's a great savings. But why not do option number 2, which is buy the property at 6.7% at $900,000, and then in 9 months, when interest rates are lower, refinance. So you get the lower payment. And guess what? If interest rates do go down to 6.2, your property is not going to be worth $900,000 anymore. It's going to be worth substantially more because more buyers will be motivated to flood the market and incrementally push values up, including your home that you were smart enough to buy when interest rates were high. So that's what I try to talk to all my buyers about.
So that's with mortgage rates. And then the other, so this is a quote from the National Association of Realtors, the chief economist, Lawrence Yun. A meaningful decline in mortgage rates would help both demand and supply. Mm-hmm. Demand by boosting affordability, and supply by lessening the power of the mortgage rate lock-in effect. Yeah. So a lot of people has like a 4% mortgage. I think like 80% of mortgages are 4%. So they don't want to put the property for sale right now because they're going to get a higher rate if they buy another property. And so we have a lot of properties are investors who are retired from the investment, or we have people who have died, or people who are moving out of state, or job relocations. When the mortgage rates come down, we'll have more of these people that are locked in put their home on the market, so that there'll be more market activity at that point. That's what he's referring to. So then the forecast for home prices. All right, now these are national home price forecasts, and maybe I can make another video on what is the actual situation in California, because if you look at the 50-year average of home price appreciation in California is double what the nationwide average. The nationwide average goes up 3% per year. So you buy a property, next year it's worth 3% more, 2 years 6% more, 9%, and so forth. In California, it's 6%. So you buy it now, next year 6% more, then 12%, then 18%, 24%. So they're projecting nationwide that the average is going to go up like 2.3%. That's less than the average, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, different forecasters have different amounts. We just seen that they continue to increase. and in California, maybe it'll go more than that if it's the standard how it normally goes. So the experts are saying they're going to go up in price. What do you think?
Yeah, such a loaded question, man. I mean,
people ask like if we have a crystal ball,
right?
No
right.
one. We don't have like these people are experts. They don't know.
And look at the difference between Fannie Mae and just the MBA. I mean, that's almost a 3% difference. I mean, one is, if you compare the MBA and Fannie Mae, that's a 200% error. Like one of them is wrong by
Zillow's
by
like
double
negative.
what the other one. Well, let's throw Zillow out. Zillow's trying to do their own thing. That's a special opinion. Zillow has a special opinion of, that Zillow is kind of like the Facebook of real estate. They have all the information, but they're in it to turn a profit. Fannie Mae is a government regulated institution. Wells Fargo, yes, they are in it for profit, but Wells Fargo's numbers are usually pretty accurate. Zillow's, come on, man. But all of us have used Zestimate, and come on,
higher than what the okay. So then that's a question. But anyway, that's pretty much what I this presentation, this information that is for us to stay in touch with people here. But I put out an email to my past clients, to my database, to contacts that invited me to stay in touch, and I emailed them that information with some analysis. And so that's all right. If you'd like to get that email that send out periodically with updated information and insights on the market, feel free to message me your email address. I can put you in so you can get that information. If you guys have questions in the future, feel free to message us. I'll put Mike's contact information and all the platforms in there too. And that's all I got, Mike. I appreciate everyone watching. No one came on the live stream. I don't care.
I'm not seeing anyone on there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm able to see, but
yeah, if one person gets value from this, hey, that's fine.
Time well spent.
They get it on Facebook, Instagram, whatever. That's fine. We're here to be a resource for those who are interested and who have questions. That's it. Anything else you got, Mike?
No, you did a really good job. I appreciate the work you put into getting these numbers together. You always, add value to your clients. I really like working with you. I'm really proud to, work with people who like to do business the way I like to do business, which is not really necessarily in it for the profit, but really trying to service people to the best of their ability. So really good job on this presentation, Luis.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching, and good evening. It's evening here, but when you watch it, who knows what it is. You take care.